Good morning, dear students. So, children, today we will do ninth story of your English reader book Footprints Without Feet entitled Bholi. Yes, the title of the chapter is on a simpleton girl, a girl who is naive, simple minded, and very kind at heart. So, see why her name is Bholi, that seems so old fashioned or so out of date, and like why she has been taken as the main character of the story. So, read what is there in the box, what is the big idea behind the chapter. From her very childhood, Bholi was neglected at home. Like, why did her teacher take special interest in her? Did Bholi measure up to her teacher's expectations? So, see, from that idea box, we can derive the hint that Bholi was neglected at home at the hands of her parents and siblings. The girl named Bholi may be neglected by her parents as well as siblings at home. Secondly, her teacher must have played some important role in her growth and development. And the question is that was she able to come up to the expectations of her teacher or not? Like, what would be the expectations of the teacher from a simple, naive countryside girl? So, read the story in order to know the answers to these questions. So, read and find out the following two questions from the first part. See, why is Bholi's father worried about her? For what unusual reasons is Bholi sent to school? So, see, children, Bholi is a girl whose father is worried about her. It means something different must be there about Bholi, that her father is worried about her. He takes tension of this girl. And second question reveals that there is something unusual, something different, that Bholi was sent to school. It means if Bholi had some siblings, some brothers and sisters, like they were probably not sent to school, and Bholi was. Bholi was sent to school, right? So, read the story in order to know the answers to these questions. See, her name was Sulekha, but since her childhood, everyone had been calling her Bholi, the simpleton. So, children, try to understand her name was not Bholi, as people often have dual names, like one name that is used at home or by the relatives and family members, and second at their office or school or college, whatsoever that is, right? Suppose somebody's name is Parminder, and short name like uh, anything, like he or she can be called anything like in short form Pam, etc., right? So that means identity sets on the pet name. Identity of a person sets on the pet name. So her name was Sulekha actually, but from her childhood everybody called her Bholi. Why? Because she was simpleton. Simpleton, that kind of fellow who easily trusts other, or who cannot think by himself or herself wisely. It means a person who is so simple minded that he or she cannot think much about the self. He or she cannot see the wishes of others, the intentions of others, and unable to express the self as well. So she was such a kind of child, but how she become like this, this is a kind of abnormal situation, an unusual situation. Like how Bholi fell into such a condition, we would read first page of the story to know about her condition. She was the fourth daughter of Nambardar Ramlal. A good rank in village. Ramlal, Bholi's father, was, had been bearing many children, and, she was the fourth daughter. When she was 10 months old, she had fallen off the cot on her head, and perhaps it had damaged some part of her brain. That's why she remained a backward child and came to be known as Bholi the simpleton. See, the incident has been narrated in the second introductory paragraph that Bholi was the fourth daughter of Mr. Ramlal, who was the Nambardar of the village. And when she was 10 months old, accidentally she fell from the bed, and her head got some injuries, and perhaps means probably some part of her brain got damaged due to her falling from the bed. So that's why, due to that damage in the part of her brain, she remained backward, not in the fashion sense. Backward means she could not think properly, like her mind slowed down its growth. The growth of her mind was slowed down. Its pace was not as it is the pace of other normal children. So she remained a backward child, and everybody began to call her Bholi, because she was actually Bholi, because she was actually very simple, having some psychological problem. See next paragraph. At birth, the child was very fair and pretty. It means when she was born, she was beautiful. But when she was 2 years old, she had an attack of smallpox. See, children, second adversity. First, when she was 10 months old, she fell from the bed, and some part of her brain got damaged. And when she became 2 years old, she had an attack of smallpox, kind of chicken pox. Only the eyes were saved, but the entire body was permanently disfigured by deep black poke marks. Little Sulekha could not speak till she was 5, and when at last she learned to speak, she stammered. The other children often made fun of her and mimicked her. As a result, she talked very little. See, children, adversity, it is often said that problems come in bundles. Like, one problem never comes alone in life of a person. So Bholi was the victim of her own fate, as she got an injury in her brain, in some part of her brain. That's why she could not think much. And secondly, when she was 2 years old, she had an attack of smallpox. So the scars of that smallpox were left permanently on her body, especially on her face. And she looked so ugly. Like, I'll show you the picture on the next page. Like, when she was, secondly, like, she was unable to speak till 5. Otherwise, children of 1 or 1.5 year begin to speak many words, and when they reach the age of 3, they know almost all the words of their mother tongue. So Bholi could not speak until she was 5 years old, and when she learned to speak, she stammered. Like, atak ke bolna, she stammered. And the other children whom she used to accompany, either to have some playtime or so, like, they used to make fun of her by doing her mimicry, by copying her. Like, she used to stammer, and they used to make fun of her by copying her style of speaking. And this had a very bad effect on her, and as a result, she talked very little, because she often felt very bad when she listened to the comments passed on by other children for her stammering and her face, etc. So this is the reason behind her backwardness. I hope you are clear with first 3 paragraphs. Next one. Ramlal had 7 children, 3 sons and 4 daughters, and the youngest of them was Bholi. It was a prosperous farmer's household, and there was plenty to eat and drink. All the children except Bholi were healthy and strong. The sons had been sent to city to study in schools and later in colleges. Of the daughters, Radha, the eldest, had already been married. The second daughter, Mangla's marriage had also been settled, and when that was done, Ramlal would think of the third, Champa. Like, they were good-looking, healthy girls, and it was not difficult to find bridegrooms for them. So children, this is the story that is written of the period when, even now it's prevalent. I won't say that we have become ultra modern, but the stories of those old times when the daughters were considered a big burden on the families. And Ramlal, being a traditional farmer, of course a rich one, a prosperous one, having good facilities at home, but still he was burdened with the task of husband hunting for his daughters. Like he had four daughters, and three of them, like either they were married or about to be married. Like they had been settled. Either they had been settled or they were about to settle in their life, in their married life. But what was the problem in front of Ramlal? The problem was of Bholi. Like how she would be married off. Who would marry such a girl who is a simpleton, who is not clever, who is not good looking, who has hundreds of poke marks on her face, who looks unattractive? Right, so all the other girls, all the three girls were looking good looking and healthy, but not Bholi. It was not at all difficult for Ramlal to find grooms for these three girls, but yes, Bholi was a big challenge for him. So see how he tackles. But Ramlal was worried about Bholi. She had neither good looks nor intelligence. So children, I hope you have got the answer to first question that was given on the top of the page. Why is Bholi's father worried about her? Because she was neither attractive nor intelligent. Or you can write she was neither beautiful nor clever. So that's why she was a burden on her parents, and Ramlal often felt worried about Bholi's marriage. I hope that's clear up to now. See, this is the scenario of their home. Bholi's father is sitting on a cot and on a mattress. Bholi's mother and probably her elder sister, and in a corner sitting Bholi, taking her doll in her hand, having poke marks, right? And sitting sad, lonely, and thoughtful. So from the face expressions of Ramlal, it seemed that he is a strict fellow, and if you notice the face expressions of Bholi's mother, it seems that she is even more strict as compared to her father. Like her behavior can be more rude. So see how was their behavior towards Bholi. Bholi was 7 years old when Mangla was married. Her elder sister Mangla, like when she was married, Bholi was already 7 years old. The same year, a primary school for girls was opened in their village. The Tehsildar Sahib came to perform its opening ceremony. Of course, some reputed person of the village performs this kind of ceremony. And, for the first time, a primary school for girls was opened in the village itself. The Tehsildar said to Ramlal, as a revenue official, Ramlal was a revenue official. I told you here in the number that it was written, it means the one who collects revenue, the one who collects taxes from people. So, Tehsildar addresses to Ramlal that as you are the revenue official, the representative of the government in the village, so you must set an example to the villagers. It means you must send your daughters to the school. Then that night Ramlal consulted his wife. She cried, "Are you crazy? If the girls go to school, who will marry them?" See, the poor and sick mentality of Bholi's mother, like she's too much rude to Bholi. See, what is her reaction? Are you crazy? Like she asked her husband that if he is mad or if he has gone mad, like if girls begin to attend school, like which boy will marry them? Like the Tehsildar, of course, he gave a good suggestion that sending girls to school or to college was not a usual task and not a usual talk in those days. Like only boys were sent for studies, like in schools as well as colleges. Right, so the girls didn't have this kind of privilege. Even Bholi's elder sisters were not sent to school. Like they were at home only. If they were a bit educated, that education was given at home only. So they never went to school. So Bholi was the only unmarried girl at home, and it was a second challenge for Ramlal. So in the next paragraph, it's already written. But Ramlal had not the courage to disobey Tehsildar. Ramlal didn't have the courage to disobey his wife, but he could never think of disobeying Tehsildar. At last, his wife said, "I'll tell you what to do. Send Bholi to school. As it is, there's a little chance of her getting married with her ugly face and lack of sense. Let the teachers at school worry about her." See, how strict, how rude she is. Bholi's mother, like she didn't have, a bit of a soft corner for Bholi. Like she cared for all the children, but not for her. What she asks? She asks her husband that if you don't have any alternative, then we may send Bholi to school. But yes, you must remember that there are no chances of getting her married, because who would marry such an ugly face and such a nonsense fellow? So let the teachers worry about Bholi. It means she wanted to shift her burden on the teachers. So see if the teachers accept the challenge, or they also just neglect Bholi as a nonsense child. Read and find out the next questions. Does Bholi enjoy her first day at school? Does she find her teacher different from people at home? So read and find out the answers to these questions. The next day, Ramlal caught Bholi by the hand and said, "Come with me, I'll take you to school." Bholi was frightened. She didn't know what a school was like. She remembered how a few days ago their new cow, the old cow Lakshmi, had been turned out of the house and sold. No, 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 no. She shouted in terror and pulled her hand away from her father's grip. "What's the matter with you, you fool?" shouted Ramlal. "I am only taking you to school." Then he told his wife, "Let her wear some decent clothes today, or else what will the teachers and other schoolgirls think of us when they see her?" So see, children, now what has happened? Ramlal and his wife, they have agreed upon the idea of sending Bholi to school, since she would become the headache of her teachers after that day. So as Ramlal tried to take Bholi to school by tightly holding her hand, as shown in the picture as well, Bholi was not ready for school. Since like she had never known what the meaning of the word school was. She never knew that it's a good place actually, and she may improve herself by coming to such a place. So she first of all protested a lot, because she had seen that how people or how creatures are turned out of the home by making one excuse or the other. As she remembered that how a few days ago, like they were having a cow whose name was Lakshmi. Like that cow was turned out of the house and it was sold to somebody else. So Bholi was afraid of the fact that she may also be turned out of the house, as nobody at home likes her. So that's why the cow had become useless for the people of the home, and she was also a kind of useless fellow. So that's why she was more terrified and didn't want to go to school. But Ramlal forcefully shouted like, "Don't behave like a foolish person, what is the problem with you?" So and told her that he is only taking her to school, that's a good place. And moreover, he told his wife that Bholi never wears good clothes, so that's why like make her wear some decent clothes that day, since it's her first day in school. And all the teachers and other students at school, they know very well that Bholi is our daughter, and they will think bad of us. Like our reputation will be spoiled, because like since Ramlal was a revenue officer, so that's why he earns a good income. He is from a good family, so his daughter must be wearing good clothes, decent clothes, right? So he asks his wife to make her ready for school. See what happens. New clothes had never been made for Bholi. So the writer tells that Bholi never had any new clothes. The old dresses of her sisters were passed on to her. Children, you must have seen this practice at home, that the younger siblings are given the clothes of the elder ones for wearing. But it doesn't happen all the time. Some of the some of the clothes that are in good condition, those are passed on from one child to the other, but it never happens that the younger child never gets new clothes. Here Bholi, she has been befooled to such an extent that never a new dress had been bought for her. She has always been wearing the old dresses of her sisters and never had a new one. Read next. No one cared to mend or wash her clothes, but today she was lucky to receive a clean dress which had been shrunk after many washings and no longer fitted Champa. She was even bathed and oil was rubbed into her hair, into her dry and matted hair. Only then did she begin to believe that she was being taken to a place better than her home. When she was given due importance, she was given such garments, such clothes to wear which were in good condition, although that was, an old garment only, an old dress that belonged to her elder sister Champa, but that had got shrunk. Sometimes after washing a cloth many times, those clothes get shrunk, so it was shrunk, and Champa could not wear it as it was not good fit for her. So that's why that outfit was passed on to Bholi, and she was given that one to wear for the first day of her school. And when she was bathed, and her oiling was done to her hair, and after seeing all these things, she believed finally that she was being taken to a good place as compared to her home. Then she believed that school must be a place where she may get some better treatment, right? So when they reached the school, the children were already in their classrooms. Because she got a bit late, Ramlal handed over his daughter to the headmistress. Left alone, the poor girl looked about her with fear-laden eyes. Fear-laden means her eyes were full of fear. Her mind was full of fear when her father left her with the headmistress of the school, because the children were already there, and in school children have to remain alone, or like they can seek the company of other children, but their parents are not there. And Bholi had faced this situation for the first time in her life. So there were several rooms, and in each rooms girls like her squatted on mats. Like the girls were sitting on mats in each room, since that was a girls' school, so the girls were there only. Next is reading from books or writing on slates, since that again that is the story of traditional times. So they were either reading from books and writing on their black colored slates with their slates. The headmistress asked Bholi to sit down in a corner in one of the classrooms. So she was asked to sit down in a corner, and she was allotted a classroom where she has to be seated. Right? Next page. Bholi did not know what exactly a school was like and what happened there, but she was glad to find so many girls almost of her own age present there. She hoped that one of these girls might become her friend. The lady teacher who was in the class was saying something to the girls, but Bholi could not understand anything. She looked at the pictures on the wall. The colors fascinated her. The horse was brown, just like the horse on which the Tehsildar had come to visit their village. The goat was black, like the goat of their neighbor. The parrot was green, like the parrot she had seen in the mango orchard. And the cow was just like their Lakshmi. And suddenly Bholi noticed that the teacher was standing by her side, smiling at her. "What's your name, little one?" So, Bho, Bho, Bho. She could stammer no further than that. See, she knew her name. She knew her name Sulekha as well. She knew her name Bholi as well. But see, out of nervousness and due to her problem of stammering, she could not give answer to the teacher's question about what was her name. So as she entered the school, so children, see what was her condition. She was full of fear. But when she saw so many people, so many girls, and that too of her own age, she felt that she may have a good time there. And one of the girls can also become her friend, as people were, sitting in pairs there. So the lady teacher who was teaching their class, she was teaching some concepts, probably through some charts or pictures or flashcards, that this is cow, this is goat, this is horse, etc. This is parrot. So the colors were quite attractive for Bholi. Like she was fascinated by these things. But she could relate the things. She didn't know that this is a horse, this is a parrot in the picture, but yes, she had seen those things in real time. She had seen those animals or birds in her real life, so that's why she could relate to those concepts. But she could not understand the vocabulary, the wording which teacher was using in order to address these things. So suddenly she notices that teacher was standing by her side. You know, that kind of individual attention. When a teacher feels that a particular child is not responding due to one reason or the other, and that sensible teacher comes near to that child and inquires about the reason of looking blank. So same, the teacher asks her name, but she just stammered BHBHO, like she could not speak Bholi, even like not even in parts. She could not speak her name. See, then she began to cry and tears flowed from her eyes in a helpless flood. She kept her head down as she sat in the corner, not daring to look up at the girls who she knew were still laughing at her. When the school bell rang, all the girls scurried out of the classroom, but Bholi dared not leave her corner. Her head still lowered, she kept on sobbing. Bholi, the teacher's voice was so soft and soothing. In all her life, she had never been called like that. It touched her heart. Get up, said the teacher. It was not a command, but just a friendly suggestion. Bholi got up. Now tell me your name. So sweat broke out over her whole body. Like, would her stammering tongue again disgrace her? For the sake of this kind woman, however, she decided to make an effort. She had such a soothing voice, she would not laugh at her. So she tried Bho, she began to stammer again. Well done, the teacher encouraged her. Come on now, full name. So she then, after Bho speaking Bholi, at last she was able to say it and felt relieved, as it was a great achievement. Well done. The teacher patted her affectionately and said, put the fear out of your heart and you will be able to speak like everyone else. Bholi looked up as if to ask, really? So see children, what has happened in these paragraphs. Now her teacher has become her mentor and she is trying to encourage Bholi in every sense. Like when asked her name for the first time, Bholi could not tell her full name. Like although it seemed that the teacher knew that her name is Bholi, that's why she addresses Bholi, and her voice was very soothing, soft, touching voice, and like it seemed that she is full of sympathy, she is full of sentiments for Bholi, because like Bholi had never been called with such love and affection in her life. Everybody used to rebuke her at home. So when the bell rang, school bell rang, all the girls, went out, the ones who were laughing at her when she stammered. Bholi didn't have the courage to take up her head while the girls were there in the classroom, as she was again feeling ashamed of her stammering voice. So the teacher did not command, she did not order anything, but yes, she just became friendly with Bholi and asked her to share her name. So after making 3 to 4 attempts, she was able to tell her name, that's Bholi. So teacher appreciated that remark. So this is the crux of the lesson, children. Here, a teacher's friendly attitude brought the best in the child. I'm not saying that speaking one's name, the child who stammers, and if he or she gets successful in speaking his or her name, complete name, that is an achievement. But yes, for that stammering child, it's not less than an achievement. And this achievement was this achievement was achieved by Bholi just because of her teacher, because of the encouragement and motivation that her teacher filled in her mind, right? So see, when she told Bholi that you have done well and patted her back with love and affection, and she also asked Bholi that if she can put fear out of her heart, she will not be afraid of anything, and she'll become able to speak like every other child. So Bholi could not say anything, but yes, she looked up to her teacher as if she wanted to ask her, really? Like if it is true that she would be able to speak like all other children. So when she looked up, the teacher answers yes, yes. Bholi had not asked really or so. Just Bholi's expressions were of asking these questions, and the teacher well understood the expressions of this girl, and she responded, yes, yes, it will be very easy. You just come to school every day. Will you come? Bholi nodded. No, say it aloud. Yeah, yeah, yes. And Bholi herself was astonished that she had been able to say it. Didn't I tell you? Now take this book. The book was full of nice pictures, and pictures were in color. Dog, cat, goat, horse, parrot, tiger, and cow, just like Lakshmi. And with every picture was a word in big black letters. As we see picture dictionaries today. So the book was like a picture dictionary in which several animals and birds and various creatures were there, which Bholi had seen in her real life. The teacher gave Bholi that book. This is also a nice gesture. Otherwise, teachers rebuke children that why you don't bring your books to the school. Here, the teacher is like, she understands that the child is a bit abnormal, kind of. She is not a normal child. She is having some psychological problem, so she tackles her very carefully with much love and affection, and gave her that book so that she can read something. So every picture was there, and every picture it bore a word along with it, and it was written in big black letters so that it could be read by the reader, right? Next month, in 1 month, you will be able to read this book. So the teacher asked Bholi that she will take 30 days approximately to read this book. Then I'll give you a bigger book, then a still bigger one. In time, you will be more learned than anyone else in the village. Then no one will ever be able to laugh at you. People will listen to you with respect, and you will be able to speak without the slightest stammer. Understand? Now go home and come back early tomorrow morning. So the teacher sent Bholi back to home by telling her that she would be able to finish this book within 30 days, and then she will be given another book which would be big as compared to other, and then a third book which would be again bigger. So she motivated the child in such a manner that Bholi felt contented. Like in time, you will be able to learn more than anyone else in the village. So this line was seriously a kind of motivation for Bholi, when the teacher told that if Bholi continued coming to the school, and if she keeps on making efforts, so she will become the most literate person of the village. She will be the most intelligent girl of the village, and nobody will get a chance to laugh at her stammering or at her looks. So she would earn respect from people, and nobody will be able to laugh at any of her doings. So then the teacher asks her to go home and join the school next morning in time, right? Bholi felt as if suddenly all the bells in the village temple were ringing, and the trees in front of the schoolhouse had blossomed into big red flowers. Her heart was throbbing with a new hope and new life. So, all in all, this paragraph means that Bholi felt magic. She felt a drastic change. She felt that something has opened up. Her destiny had opened up, as she, felt, dreamlike reality. Like all the bells in the village temple were ringing, and the trees that were right in front of the schoolhouse, they were blossoming into big red flowers. Like she was feeling that everything is beautiful on this earth, and her heart was also throbbing with a new hope that yes, she can live a better life, yes, she can have a better tomorrow. So she was full of hope after meeting this nice teacher. So see, read the next questions. Why do Bholi's parents accept Bishambar's marriage proposal? So now the story may be, story may take a different turn. See, Bholi's marriage is being talked about. Like otherwise, her parents were not thinking of marrying her off. But now Bishambar, a person by the name of Bishambar, is being presented as a groom to Bholi. Why does the marriage not take place? So the author has already told us two things, that Bholi's marriage was in planning and it could not take place. Read why. Thus the years passed. It means nothing has been revealed, but yes, Bholi did go to school. She received good education, like with the help of good teachers. The village became a small town and a little primary school became high school. The school, which was a primary one, that has turned into a high school after so many years. And the village had turned into a town. There were, now a cinema under a tin shed and a cotton ginning mill. The mail train began to stop at the railway station. One night after dinner, Ramlal said to his wife, "Then, shall I accept Bishambar's proposal?" So, Bishambar is a person whose identity and whose characteristics would be discussed there in the following paragraphs. So, just one night, like after they finished their dinner, Ramlal, the revenue officer, he asked his wife, then shall he accept the proposal put by Bishambar for Bholi's marriage? So his wife said, means Bholi's mother said, yes, certainly, means why not? Bholi will be lucky to get such a well-to-do bridegroom. It means Bishambarnath must be a rich person. A big shop, a house of his own, and I hear several thousand in the bank. Moreover, he is not asking for any dowry. See, such a good fellow is very hard to find, and that too for a girl like Bholi who is not good looking and who is not intelligent. Bishambarnath's proposal for marriage was very good for them because Bishambarnath was a rich person having good sum in his bank account, having a big shop, having a house of his own. Every facility was with him. And the greatest news for Bholi's parents was he was not asking for anything in dowry. Like there were no demands of him for his marriage. So see why there were no demands, like how such a good fellow can be found in those traditional times. That's right, but he is not so young, almost the same age as I am, and he also limps. Moreover, the children from his first wife are quite grown up. Children, these are the statements by Bholi's father. Bholi's father, why he was hesitant to take a decision to say yes to Bishambarnath's proposal due to these reasons. Like Bishambarnath was not a young person. Why he was accepting Bholi? Because he was almost double the age of Bholi. More than double even. Like he was same as the age of Bholi's father. Moreover, he was having limps. He could not walk properly. Third thing is that he was previously married. Either his wife has died or he had been divorced. That's why the children from his first wife were already there in the house and they were almost of the same age as Bholi was. So see, she is, tricked into such a marriage that is not at all suitable for her. And see the marriage takes place or not, what happens next in the story. So what does it matter? His wife replied. So children, can you feel the cruelty of Bholi's mother? Like Bholi's father is still, having some soft corner in his heart for Bholi. Like he is somewhat hesitating in taking such a harsh decision for Bholi's future. But Bholi's mother is very much reluctant. Like it seems that she hates Bholi to the core of her heart. So that's why she asked, like, what is the matter? Like 45 or 50, it's no great age for a man. So she further says that we are lucky that he is from another village and doesn't know about her pockmarks and lack of sense. If we don't accept this proposal, she may never, she may remain unmarried all her life. Yes, but I wonder what Bholi will say. What will that witless one say? Witless means the one whose wits are not in working, the one who is nonsense. She is like a dumb cow. Maybe you are right, muttered Ramlal. So, in the other corners of the courtyard, Bholi lay awake on her cot, listening to her parents' whispered conversation. The writer tells us that Bholi was not dumb actually. She was listening to each and every statement given by her parents. She could feel how merciless her mother has been upon her. Like her mother's opinion is of getting her married, like by hook or by crook. She felt herself and her family lucky that Bishambar Nath is from some other village, and he is not aware that Bholi is not good looking, or like she is a nonsense kind of girl. She doesn't have sense how to act and behave in a particular situation. And when Bholi's father asks about Bholi's feelings, her mother further answers that she doesn't have that sense how to react. She is like a dumb cow, you can drive her anywhere. So Bholi was not able to take up that much courage to oppose her parents' decision, but yes, she kept on listening everything. See what happens next. Bishambar Nath was a well-to-do grocer. It means he had a shop of groceries and he was a well-to-do trader. He came with a big party of friends and relations with him for the wedding. A brass hand playing a popular tune from an Indian film headed the procession, with the bridegroom riding a decorated horse. Ramlal was overjoyed to see such pomp and splendor. He had never dreamed that his fourth daughter would have such a great wedding. Bholi's elder sisters, who had come for the occasion, were envious of her luck. When the auspicious moment came, the priest said, "Bring the bride." Bholi, clad in a decorated in a red silken bridal dress, was led to the bride's place near the sacred fire. "Garland the bride," one of his friends prompted Bishambar Nath. So see children, everything is ready. Bholi's parents have given their consent for the marriage of Bholi and Bishambar Nath. So Bishambar Nath came with a big party since he was a rich man and he came with his friends and relations. There was not a second thought in his mind that he is going to do a second marriage, and he went with a big party and with a band playing popular tune from Indian films. So that was a good procession, and Ramlal was so overjoyed. He was very happy to see that his fourth daughter, and the one who is lacking in sense, that one can get such a good opportunity in her life of marrying a person who holds a grand wedding function. Even Bholi's elder sisters, like who should be happy for her, they were jealous of her. They were envious. They were jealous that she has got a good luck that she is being married to such a rich person. But what happens when the auspicious, that moment came, that when Bholi was being brought to the place of wedding, and she was decorated in red silk dress, and when the priest asked Bishambar Nath to put that garland of flowers to Bholi, so what happened? The bridegroom lifted the garland of yellow marigolds, flowers, yellow flowers, marigold. The bridegroom, he took that. What happened all of a sudden? A woman slipped back the silken veil from the bride's face. Bishambar took a quick glance. The garland remained poised in his hands. The bride slowly pulled down the veil over her face. "Have you seen her?" said Bishambar to the friend next to him. "She has pokemarks on her face." "So what? You are not young either." "Maybe, but if I am to marry her, her father must give me 5,000 rupees. So here, Bishambar had seen the face of Bholi, which was unveiled by one of the women who was probably jealous of the function. So Bishambar took a quick glance at her face, and he becomes unhappy on seeing that she has such a ugly face bearing so many poke marks, and he asked his friend that is this girl worthy of marrying. His friend further a kind of scolding. He gave a kind of scolding to Bishambar that you are also not young, but she is getting married to you. You should not lose this opportunity. But yes, Bishambar Nath here interrupts that if I am to marry this girl, since she is ugly and not good looking, her father must give me 5,000 rupees. It means he begins to demand 5,000 rupees on the occasion of marriage. Right? So I hope that's clear up to now. So see what is the reaction of Bholi's father on the demand of 5,000 rupees dowry. Ramlal went and placed his turban, his honor, at Bishambar's feet. "Do not humiliate me so. Take 2,000 rupees. No, 5,000 or we go back. Keep your daughter. Be a little considerate, please." Considerate means kind. "If you go back, I can never show my face in the village. Then out with 5,000. Tears streaming down his face, Ramlal went in, opened the safe and counted out the notes. He placed the bundle at bridegroom's feet. So see the helplessness of a father, especially of that father whose daughter is ready to be married off. All the relatives, all the people from neighborhood are gathered there to attend the wedding, and the bridegroom is demanding money, and that to a big sum of 5,000 rupees right at the time of auspicious occasion, at the exact time of taking the bride from that platform. So see, Ramlal offers him 2,000 rupees because he couldn't afford that much. But Bishambar has got to know that now he has become helpless and he has to marry his daughter anyways, so he becomes adamant on taking 5,000 rupees, right? So see, this is the scene here. On Bishambar's greedy face appeared a triumphant smile. Of course, he was feeling victorious and he was smiling like a greedy person. He had gambled and won. Bishambar had won. Give me the garland, he announced. Now he has become ready to marry this girl Bholi. Once again the veil was slipped back from the bride's face, but this time her eyes were not downcast. She was looking up, looking straight at her prospective husband, future husband, and in her eyes was there neither anger nor hate, only cold contempt. Previously when the veil was taken away, she downcasted her eyes. She was feeling ashamed. But now, when this time the veil slipped from her face, her eyes were not downcast. She was not looking down. She was looking up, looking straight forward at the face of Bishambar, her prospective husband, her future husband. And in her eyes, there was no anger, no hate, but a contempt, a feeling of hatred, a feeling of dislike, utter dislike. Bishambar raised the garland to place it round the bride's neck, but before he could do so, Bholi's hand stuck out like a streak of lightning. Very strictly, Bholi stopped Bishambar from placing the garland, that round garland around her neck, and she wrote that garland was flung into the fire. See, the garland is right there in fire, right? So what happens then? She got up and threw away the veil. Pitaji, said Bholi in a clear, loud voice. See, children, she has recovered her stammering problem and it was not revealed earlier. And her father, mother, sister, brothers, relations and neighbors were startled. They remained wonderstruck to hear her speak without even the slightest stammer. Pitaji, take your money back. I am not going to marry this man. Bholi is not at all stammering. She is speaking in a very clear tone and she asks her father to take his money back, that she is not going to marry this greedy person. She tells her father in a clear voice. See, Ramlal was thunderstruck. He also remained wonderstruck because he could not believe his ears that Bholi is so confident. She has become so clear in her spoken. The guests begin to whisper. The village people, especially the traditional ones, they begin to talk about Bholi's gestures. So shameless, so ugly and so shameless. Like they begin to talk about Bholi's outspoken attitude, that how she has taken up the courage to speak against these ruthless people. Bholi, are you crazy? Shouted Ramlal. You want to disgrace your family? Have some regard for our izzat. For the sake of your izzat, said Bholi, I was willing to marry this lame old man. But I'll not have such a man, greedy and contemptible, coward as my husband. I want. See, she is so confident when her father asks her to take care of their honor. Bholi then said that she was taking care of their honor till this time. Only that's why she became ready to marry such a nonsense fellow, such a lame and old man. But now that she has come to know about the greedy and contemptible and coward person like this, so she would not marry him at all. She declares it. That's it. That was the final statement. What a shameless girl. We all thought she was a harmless dumb cow. The village ladies, They begin to talk about Bholi, that she is a shameless fellow. We always thought that she is a simpleton. She is Bholi. She never speaks ill of anybody. She is like a dumb cow who can be driven anywhere in any direction. Right? Bholi turned violently on the old man. Yes, auntie, are you right? Sorry, you are right. You all thought I was a dumb driven cow. Bholi now is talking to those, ruthless village women who were talking ill of her. And she asked them, yes, auntie, you are right. Like, you all thought that I am a cow. I am dumb driven. That's why you wanted to hand me over to this heartless creature. But now the dumb cow, the stammering fool is speaking. Do you want to hear more? Like, we often see in movies when a very simpleton girl, just like Bholi, remains silent throughout the movie, and at the end she begins to say, "और सुनना है क्या आपको? Do you want to listen to anything more?" So Bishambar Nath the grocer started to go back with this party. Of course, the insult was enough for him. Now he wants to go back. The confused, bandsman thought that it was the end of the ceremony and struck up a closing song. As in movies, many a time, like I have seen this thing in the movie Three Idiots. Like they thought that the marriage is done and the couple is about to leave the platform, and same like that they begin to play a closing song. Ramlal stood rooted to the ground, his head bowed low with the weight of grief and shame. Ramlal was aggrieved on the one hand that the function has been spoiled, and he was feeling ashamed also, because like he was feeling ashamed in the eyes of his daughter, because he has chosen such a nonsense, such an old and lame groom for such a simpleton girl. The flames of the sacred fire slowly died down. Of course, the fire was to slow down. Everyone has gone. Ramlal turned to Bholi and said, "But what about you? No one will ever marry you now. What shall we do with you?" The sick, poor, middle class mentality that the ultimate aim of life is marriage. Exactly, Ramlal's question to Bholi was like, what shall we do with the young girl like you now? Like, what shall we do with you? Because nobody will be ready to marry you at this stage, and after all this happening, like the party gone back, and now your face is visible to everybody, and your reputation has been spoiled because you proved yourself as an outspoken lady. Like all the village ladies are full of contempt for you. Who will marry you now, and what shall we do in this situation? So these were the questions of Ramlal. So see children, what answer was given by Bholi. And Sulekha said in a voice, writer K. Abbas has now used Sulekha. She said in a voice that was calm and steady, in a very slow, calm down voice, she said, "Don't worry, Pitaji. In your old age, I'll serve you and mother, and I'll teach in the same school where I learned so much." Isn't that right, ma'am? The teacher had all along stood in a corner watching the drama. "Yes, Bholi, of course," she replied. And in her smiling eyes was the light of a deep satisfaction that an artist feels when contemplating the completion of her masterpiece. So see, the one wearing spectacles is Bholi's teacher, right? Looking right at her expressions, that how brave creature has born out of this simpleton girl, and how she has become successful in giving a classic answer to the questions of her father, because she has been always ill-treated by her parents. Like Ramlal and his wife, they were feeling ashamed that they always mistreated Bholi, and in return Bholi, she wants to remain unmarried throughout her life, and she is ready to serve both her parents by teaching in the school where she has become a good creature. And yes, the teacher is so happy, because finally this is the victory of a teacher. This is not the victory of a student only. Of course, for Bholi that was one of the biggest achievements of her life, but along with Bholi, this was the victory of a teacher. Like she felt a lot of satisfaction, means her satisfaction has been compared to the satisfaction of an artist who feels happy after completing his or her masterpiece. if an artist become successful in completing a very good work, or in accomplishing a task that is matchless, that is unique, a deep sense of satisfaction is felt by the artist. So the same stage the teacher passes through, she feels so happy to see that yes, the moral values that she has filled in her student Bholi, those values have come up now, and that too at the exact point of time. So she has saved the life of Bholi as well as her parents' future. So that was all about the story. So do the questions yourself, and leave your queries in the comment box. I'll be happy to take that. Thank you.